U.S. sends tons of weapons to Ukraine amid mental war against Russia. According to local media, the ship will deliver 350 tons of military equipment, including 35 HMMWV military trucks, to Ukraine's armed forces, with all equipment is expected to be unloaded on Friday. Back in January, the U.S. delivered a batch of newly made armored military trucks, known as the High Mobility Multipurpose Wheeled Vehicle. Ukraine is currently in possession of hundreds of those trucks. Furthermore, the military has received armored modifications and medical ones. Earlier this month, the U.S. Department of Defense announced an additional $125 million package for the Ukraine military to cover training, equipment, and advisory support. In total, Washington has committed over $2 billion in military assistance to Kiev since 2014. Russia President Vladimir Putin's spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, also said in separate remarks that the West and the United States are clearly seeking to contain and suppress Moscow. He stated on Thursday that a deliberate policy aimed at containing and suppressing Russia is clear enough. Meanwhile, an advisor to President Putin accused the U.S. and its Western allies of waging a psychological war against Russia, as a direct armed confrontation with the nuclear power is unrealistic. Ties between Russia and the U.S. hit a new low after U.S. President Joe Biden labeled the Russia leader a killer. Biden noted in an interview last week that Putin was a killer and that he would have to pay a price for alleged interference in the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Peskov stated in response that Biden's remarks showed he had no interest in fixing ties with Russia. The Biden administration is expected to impose sanctions on Moscow over the allegations. Biden's administration has already imposed sanctions against Moscow over the imprisonment and alleged poisoning of Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny back in 2016.